Hello everyone, my name is Sahil and I welcome you at Unacademy. So guys, in today's video, we are going to discuss a very important topic with respect to GS paper number 2, Social Justice and Education. That is the finding of Annual Status of Education Report 2022. So guys, when we talk about the ASER report, it happens to be an iconic report on the condition of education in India, particularly the school education, and this particular report has a lot of significance and it has now been released after 2018. So nearly at the gap of 4 years the report has been published. So let's see that what are the key takeaways from this particular report and what other dimensions can be picked up from this particular finding. So let's guys start with this particular topic. First of all, let's understand what is this annual status of education report. So what is this ASER? So basically guys, we see this thing that basically it is a national survey that captures the state of foundational literacy, numeracy and the status of education at the school level. Now this particular survey is carried by Pratham Foundation, which is an NGO, and this particular report has been brought since 2005 onwards. Last report came in 2018. Okay, now when we talk about the annual status of education report, it is a rural survey. It is a rural survey, keep it in your mind. And ASER report, it has been important because guys, this particular report, the data that are provided, they are directly used, have been quoted in Niti Aayog's 3-year action agenda. They have been found references in the world development reports and as well as an economic survey. The findings on the education sector, they are quoted from the Pratham NGO's ASER report. Moreover, when we talk about this annual status of education report, ASER report, it is a household based survey rather than a school based survey. So the volunteers will be going to the households, will be asking certain questions. Okay, there will be a questionnaire and on that particular basis the findings will be given. So this is all the basic information about the annual status of education report, and 2022 report, as I told you, is coming after the gap of 4 years. So therefore it automatically becomes an important development. Now talking about the key findings of this 2022 report that have been there. Now, before going in that thing, I would like to guys tell you briefly about the Unacademy's GS subscriptions. So you can enroll in Unacademy UPSC CSE GS subscriptions. And why to choose Unacademy? Because here you get widest choice of educators, flexibility to change your course, unlimited view on lectures, dedicated doubt solving sessions, printed notes, end-to-end preparation, taking care of all the stages, live mentorship, daily answer practice sessions. Okay, and you can enroll in Unacademy's Plus or Iconic subscriptions. You can use the code Sahil29 and by using the code you can immediately avail 10% discount. You can take subscriptions suiting to your requirement, for example 12-month, 18-month or 36-month. Okay, and now Unacademy has come with UPSC Iconic Week offer. Now what is this offer? This offer is really great. So if you avail 18-month subscription at Unacademy, first of all, you get 10% immediate discount if you use the code, educator code, and then you also get a complimentary optional subscription. Now we know this thing that optional plays a cornerstone role in UPSC mains examination. So you are getting optional at you are getting complimentary free of cost. So it means great savings. Okay, and now Unacademy has also launched the expedition batch, which is going to be an English medium batch for 2024, and the batch has just started on January 19. You can enroll in this batch. Moreover, all these courses, they can be availed at 0% EMI option, because at Unacademy we believe that paying capacity should not be a constraint in effective learning. You can give a call at this number and my team will guide you with bare minimum formalities. Okay, so let's talk about important findings of this particular report. So guys, number one, it has been provided that despite of the lockdown and school closures, overall enrollment in the schools have increased. Okay, post pandemic, post 2018, overall enrollment has increased and it has reached to 98.4%. So guys, we are moving towards the universal enrollment in the schools. This has been seen. It is a very good thing that has come out of it. Then guys, next thing that has been provided, that that has been provided in this particular capacity is that what are the schemes that we can see which can be used for your examination. If a question comes that ASER report has quoted that school enrollment has been increased, what are the reasons that you can trace out of it? So we need to appreciate the government schemes which have played a very important role in this particular direction. So let's talk on that. So Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Now, when we talk about Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, it is an integrated scheme for school education. It extends from preschool to senior secondary level school, and the aim is to provide good quality education, and at the same time retention rates are to be increased, enrollment rates are to be increased. The objective is maintaining the continuity in school education from preschool to class 12th, and we clearly see Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan has paid off rich dividends, and therefore 98.4% enrollment has reached. This is increase post 2018. Then midday meal schemes have also played a very important role. Guys, understand this thing, that when we talk about the midday meal scheme, it is the world's largest school food feeding program where the students, they are provided the cooked lunch meals. Now, when pandemic was going on and the schools were closed, midday meal schemes continued in one or the other capacity, and in order to avail that benefit, parents, they decided to send their children to the school, particularly the government school. So midday meal scheme has played a very important role. Then guys, when we talk about the pre-primary age group, fine, we have seen that the enrollment has increased, particularly girl enrollment, it has increased. And guys, when we talk about the enrollment of girls in the age group of 15 to 16 year, we see this particular thing, that the girls who were out of the school, their number have went down. So girls who are out of the school, their number had went down. I have written the data also here. So in 2008, we have seen this thing, that around 13.5% of the girls in the age group of 15 to 16, they were not in the school. But now this number reduced to just 7.8%. So it means girls are now enrolled in the school. Guys, always we have seen that when the girls reach around adolescence, their numbers drop. But this trend has now been reversed. And particularly girls between 11 to 14 years, their enrollment in the school has also been increased. Is it clear? So girls between 11 to 14, their enrollment has also been increased. Now, in this particular capacity, guys, appreciable role has also been played by child care and Anganwadi centers. Okay. Now, guys, when we talk about the Anganwadi centers, they are established by Ministry of Women and Child Development, and under the Integrated Child Development Services Scheme, they play a very important role. And at Anganwadi centers, they provide a range of services: health, nutritional, preschool, non-formal education. And because of the sensitization that has carried by Anganwadi centers, sensitization, and as we talk about sensitization, okay, because of that thing, the enrollment of girls particularly, which often happened to be a very big sociological problem, it has been largely been solved. Now, for girl education's increased enrollment that we see, we find that Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme has also played a very important role, which aims to generate awareness, fine, which aims to generate awareness with respect to educating the girls, fine, female feticide, female infanticides, okay, against that also the awareness is to be generated. So Beti Bachao Beti Padhao had generated rich dividends, and national scheme of incentives to girl for secondary education, national scheme of incentive to girls for secondary education has also played a very important role, which specifically promotes enrollment of girls in the schools between age of 14 to 18 years or at the secondary stage. If you see the data, between 15 to 16 years, a lot of improvement has happened. So we see this thing, that national scheme of incentive to girls for school education has played a very important role here. Okay. Now guys, at the same time, National Education Policy 2020, which came just 3 years back, which happens to be the latest education policy of India, it can also be attributed certain credits, because National Education Policy provides for gender inclusion fund. It provides for gender inclusion fund specifically to increase the girl enrollment. So we can see that it is further going to get increased as now the schools have opened up. Okay. Then there is also digital gender atlas for advancing girls education. Now, what this particular digital atlas does, it identifies the low performing geographic pockets for girls. Now, you might have heard about the aspirational districts. So aspirational districts are those 112 districts where socio-economic indicators are poor. In the same way, there are certain regions which have poor enrollment of the girls in the schools. So those low performing geographical pockets will be identified, and gender related educational indicators will be seen, and their special focus will be given, so that girls are enrolled in the schools, and not only they are enrolled, they continue. Fine, their retention will also be focused. Okay. Moreover, we also find this particular thing, guys, that improvement in the school infrastructure has played an important role and is further going to play an important role. Now we know this thing, and I have told you just that once girls reach adolescence, they drop out from the school. What is the biggest reason? Biggest reason is that in adolescence, many girls, most of the girls, they hit puberty and they don't have clean toilets. Because of that, they drop out. But as school infrastructure is improving, okay, usable girls toilets, as they are increasing, girls are continuing in the schools. Okay, drinking water availabilities has increased. Okay, proportion of schools with books other than textbooks, it has also increased. It has attracted the students in the schools, particularly the girls. Now some concerns have also been identified. Now what are these concerns or the shortcomings? Number one, we find this particular thing, that though enrollment has increased, but school attendance has stagnated. School attendance has stagnated. Many of the students are not attending the school, and even the teacher attendance, it has, though it increased, but it still stagnated at 72%. And many number of times when the teachers are not available in the school, it pushes away the students also. Pedagogical factors play a very important role. Then we also find this particular thing, that the number of students who are taking the tuitions, it has increased by 4% between 2018 to 2022. Now guys, I just want to tell you one particular trend. In this particular report, it has been highlighted that enrollment in government schools have particularly increased. What has happened? Parents, they withdrew their children from private school and they enrolled them in government school. This happened because incomes got dipped. But as students have been enrolled from private to government school, to complement for the loss of education, they are sending them to tuition. So tuition's enrollment has increased, and it indicates the continuing trends of the quota factory phenomena, where students, they become so dependent onto the coachings and tuitions that they become a kind of an inseparable part and parcel of education. This is something that has happened. Okay. Moreover, we find this particular thing, that today still sports, musical instruments, dramatics, arts, debates, these things don't play much important role in education. The time, okay, or the effort that are there, they are still just being focused on getting extra marks, 1 2 marks extra, but co-curricular, extracurricular activities are not being promoted. There is no focus on this particular direction. This is some very big issue that we have seen. Now what can be the steps that should be taken in this particular direction? Number one, guys, we need to bring a kind of a cultural shift. The philosophy that we have on education, we need to have a cultural shift in this. So we need to increase awareness in children as well as parents, that how the art, science, social sciences can also be a big good career, and how these courses, these disciplines can play a very important role in enhancing the knowledge base of children. We see this thing, that the humanities, they have seen not in a very positive light. Okay, we need to understand that basically cutoffs, entrance examination, okay, they had led a lot of burden on children as well as parents. We need to move away from these cutoffs, entrance examinations. Even the grading systems need to be reformed, so that they don't evaluate students only on the basis of the mugging of the facts, rote learning. Okay, better regulation of the tutoring industry is also needed to be done, as more and more enrollment in the schools we have already seen. Then guys, one more concern area that has been highlighted by this ASER report, it is that foundational skills in reading, arithmetic, they are getting declined. And we find this thing, that children's basic reading ability, it has dropped to pre 2012 level. It is a reversal. 10 years of gain has been lost. Today we see this particular thing, that considerable number of students in class 5th, class 8th, they are not able to read their classes text, and even they are not able to read the text of the classes below in the grade in which they are studying. Okay, This is something that we have seen. Now guys, foundational literacy and numeracy, as it has went down, way here, now what we can do, the National Education Policy 2020, it has put a lot of focus on improving foundational literacy. So on foundational literacy, now more attention has to be given. Foundational literacy, basic literacy in identification of numbers, reading the text, this plays a very important role, not in getting good marks, but beyond that also. For example, early literacy, early numeracy skills, they help in enhancing greater quality of life, personal well-being, national stability and prosperity. The students who have better literacy, numeracy skills, they tend to be more competitive, they tend to be more confident, they tend to become more competent, they have more confidence in themselves, and therefore they are even more prone to continue the education. And at the end of the day, skilled and better educated students are going to help the nation. This is something that has been there. Moreover guys, strong literacy and numeracy helps students to experiment, to learn, to reason, to create, okay, all these particular kind of things. Okay, they become active citizens, they contribute socially, culturally, economically in the nation. So enhancing the basic literacy, basic numeracy is very much important. Okay, now guys, for this particular thing, government has also launched the Nipun Bharat Abhiyan, that is a national initiative for proficiency in reading with understanding and numeracy. And in the Nipun Bharat Abhiyan, government has taken a target that by 26-27 till the grade 3, we need to attain the universal proficiency in literacy, numeracy. So students till grade 3 should have universal ability of literacy and numeracy. Okay, this is something that has to be taken. But apart from that, we also need to take some other steps. For example, teacher training. Teacher plays a very important role in ensuring that basic numeracy skills, literacy skills are there in students. So we find this thing that there are huge vacancies. There are insufficient funds for teacher training. We find this thing that there are constraints in District Institute of Education and Training diets. So deficiencies, absence of the fund, improper planning, vacancies, they are needed to be filled. Technology can be used. Okay, innovative, pedagogical, audio visual aids, okay, out of the box, creative pedagogies are needed to be used. Here I have also given you one case study. Sampark Foundation, it uses audio battery operated sound boxes, okay, and innovative teaching learning materials, so that classes can be made more interactive. So such kind of things can be used. And also there is a need for community and parental involvement. Okay, so basically we see this thing that Panchayati Raj, rural, urban development ministries, they can come together, they can bring parents together. So parents become active stakeholders in education of their children. So they can be brought together. Decentralization of funds can be carried, okay, at the panchayat level, at the block level. So schools are better governed, they are better managed. This is something which can be provided. Moreover, overall guys, we provide this particular thing that there is a big shift in enrollment to government schools. Okay, from private schools, students have moved to government schools. Now government need to capitalize it, because government can ensure that they are not only in the schools, they are continuing their education and effectively. So government need to capitalize this particular thing. Moreover, we also need to ensure that their attendance rises in the school. And for this thing, we need to look beyond the education. For example, guys, we see this particular thing that COVID-19 came, incomes got hit, but still the enrollment has increased. Pull factor towards the school and education is there. So this is something which is happening, which is a positive trend. We need to leverage it as early as possible. So that is all guys about this ASER report and all the issues surrounding this. So guys, I tried my best that all things that are important in this dimension should be covered. I hope that you have liked this video. Thank you so much.